Why should we trust our representatives, our members of Congress? Well, in Federalist number 57, James Madison gives his answer, not with blind faith in politicians, but instead with confidence in a system that keeps the representatives loyal. A republic makes leaders dependent on the people, grateful to the people, and answerable to the people. Now, it's not perfection, it's design. I'm Matt Hasklin. I'm a high school history and civics teacher, and we've been making this journey through the Federalist Papers, all 85 of them, and we are going in order, and tonight it's number 57. So, hey, let's set the stage. Critics of the Constitution, well, they feared that the House of Representatives would eventually become several things. One would be too wealthy, and then too disconnected, too privileged, too aristocratic, and then finally too self-interested. Madison thinks that argument misunderstands how Republican systems actually shape human behavior. So he's saying that leaders follow incentives, and the Constitution then sets the incentives correctly. Now, Madison argues that there are five major ties binding representatives to the people. And when you take them together, they make the House the most faithful branch of government. And those ties are the people choose the representatives directly. The representatives must earn the esteem of the people. They must behave well to maintain that esteem, that they are bound by the same laws that they pass, and they face frequent elections. Those pressures shape character, and they also keep leaders close to those they represent. Now, Madison, in his first part of this essay here, begins with the obvious, and he writes, the House of Representatives is elected immediately by the people, right? There's no hereditary titles, there's no aristocratic appointments, there's no inherited privilege. Power comes from below, not above. And this direct connection it's a foundation of trust. So Madison then brings in a second tie, and that's, he says something that's remarkably human, and that is leaders are motivated not by self-interest, but also by gratitude. And that gratitude is to the people who gave them their position. And so he argues that representatives feel a natural obligation to those who entrusted them with power. So honor matters. Even ambition can seek approval. Madison goes on to acknowledge human nature directly. He does this quite a bit through his essays. And he basically will say that people want admiration, they want a good reputation, and they want public respect. And so representatives behave well because they want to be seen as worthy of the office. It's self-interest, but it's channeled toward public good. Now, one of Madison's strongest points in this essay is that members of Congress cannot escape the laws that they create. They pay the taxes, they follow the rules, they live under the same civil penalties, they rely on the same protections as ordinary citizens. And this forces the representatives to govern as if they were governing themselves, because, well, they are. Now, he also will go on to argue here that frequent elections will equal frequent accountability, because 2-year terms mean no representative is ever far from judgment. And he writes again that they can make no law which will not have its full operation on themselves and their friends, as well as on the great mass of the society. So he's saying if the representatives forget the people remove them. It's that simple. Elections are the ultimate check. I think that's why we don't see term limits placed in here. It's because the elections are so frequent. Now, if we look at Madison's chain of reasoning, his logic in this particular essay, his 5 reasons why, our homework assignment for some of you. 1, the people choose their leaders. And 2, the leaders want public approval. 3, leaders act in ways that maintain that approval. Then we go on to leaders live under the laws that they write. And then finally, leaders do face frequent elections. So the system rewards loyalty, and it will punish betrayal. People will make that known in elections. And so that's number 57 in 5 easy steps. So as we do after our 5 easy steps, we usually go on to Madison's tone within the essay. And in this case, Madison writes with faith. But it's not what you think. It's not faith in politicians. It's actually faith in people. Because he believes that ordinary citizens can choose good representatives and remove those representatives who fail the people. His tone is optimistic, but it's also, it's not, blind. It's not, I'm looking for a word here and I can't think of it. It's not Pollyannish. He trusts the structure, but he doesn't trust perfection. Now, his moral insight here is that, power is safest when it belongs to the people. To people who remember where they came from and who know that they can be replaced. And so, the Constitution, in its creation, makes the representatives in the House accountable and vulnerable and motivated and finally connected to the folks back home. Representation isn't a privilege. It's actually a trust. Now, today we still debate things like term limits or corruption or, big right now is insider trading. Our tie-in here, our takeaways are, one, representatives stay loyal because the system makes them loyal. And then two, power flows from the people and then it returns to them constantly. And then finally, the third point here, the third takeaway, is that a republic is safe when leaders must obey their own laws. No one is above the law. Now, just bringing this to a close, getting a little long-winded here again. Federalist number 57 is Madison's defense of representative government at, I think, its best. Because he teaches that leaders don't stay close to the people by accident. They stay close because, every incentive pushes them there. The duty, the honor, and then also elections. And so, therefore, a republic is not kept alive by, the better angels of our nature, but instead by human beings that are shaped by a good system. And the Constitution is built to do exactly that. So, I'm Matt Asquin, and these are things that we should just know because I said so. And I hope if in this particular episode, if it helped you understand why representatives stay tied to the people in the model of the Constitution, I just ask you to maybe share it with someone who's interested in government and in the history of our country. And I ask you to, hey, why don't you just hang around and let's see, tomorrow's Sunday? Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to throw out number 58. And this is Madison back again, and he's going to address one of the oldest political battles, and that is small states versus large states in the House of Representatives. A lot of House of Representatives stuff coming through here with Madison. But we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Thanks for hanging around.